Hey, I'm Josh Moser, and today I'm going to talk about IoT devices and how they make our lives easier, and then I'll talk about one in particular. So first of all, what is an IoT device? You guys probably know because we've talked about it in class, but Internet of Things is what it stands for. So a definition of it is the interconnection via the Internet of computing devices embedded in everyday objects, enabling them to send and receive data. So I have a few examples of these over here. First one I have is a security camera. As you can see, I can see it here on my phone anytime. Another one is also another security camera that my parents have. It's just of our farm, so we can look at it anytime. Really easy from anywhere in the world. And then another cool one I like to mess around with is the lights on or off, and I can just control it from my phone, again, anywhere. So I really like IoT devices, and I usually try to use them in my life as much as possible. And also another one, obvious one, Google Home. Hey Google, how many students go to NSU in Aberdeen?
The Northern State University's number of students is 3,622.
Okay. So the one I'm going to talk about today is for parking, using IoT devices when parking. So little facts about parking. There's a survey that INRIX Research did. They surveyed 6,000 drivers in 10 U.S. cities to reveal the cost of parking for drivers in cities and the economy. So they found out that Americans spend an average of 17 hours per year searching for parking, and that ends up costing them like $350 a year in wasted time, fuel, and emissions. And for total, it costs about $73 billion a year just for searching for a place to park. So the problem is obviously not being able to find a parking spot. I know I've dealt with that a lot, especially on campus or say in downtown Sioux Falls. It's really hard to find a spot to park in. So you waste time driving around, and sometimes you end up being late because of it, and it really stinks. So the solution for this would be to implement IoT parking devices. These could be little sensors, small motion magnetic sensors that go underneath the car in the parking spot, or maybe they're just parking meters that have solar panels on them, and so they don't use electricity, so you just pay to park. And how this would work is there'd obviously be some sort of chip inside of the parking meter that would connect to the cloud, connect to the internet, and then you'd have an app on your phone that you could see, hey, this parking spot's open and this one's not, so I'm going to park there. And I can see that before I even get to the destination. So this really helps out, like say you have an interview in Sioux Falls you have to get to and you have to be there in a certain time. You'd be able to possibly reserve a parking spot so no one else could park there and make an online payment, Apple Pay, Android Pay, PayPal, whatever. And so this could be really helpful, and I think that college students or college campuses could do them also and use them. So yeah, that data would appear on your smartphone, and you'd show the location points where open parking spots are in real time, and then make a reservation if you wanted to. So some pros of this is it lets you know where a parking spot is. That's the biggest deal. I mean, you can literally look at your phone and it's there. So it saves you time, resources, and effort. It reduces traffic too, which that lowers the amount of car accidents too, and also pollution and lowering car emissions. The cons of this is that it's probably really expensive, and it'd be hard to implement everywhere because then everyone would have to use it. And so that's really expensive because they cost, just one parking meter costs like $600. So for the whole city to do that, that'd be a big expense. But I think, and also people would have to learn how to use the app. And old people don't always do so well, so it'd be tough for them too, but we're moving that way. I think the best way to implement this would be to put them into, say, a college campus or some private industry just for their employees to use, or something small like that. So like say you're driving around campus and you don't know where a parking spot is, and instead of driving around and around, you could just look on your phone and see that it's there. Yeah, we could put them at Northerns too, because I know it's tough to find a parking spot sometimes there. So we could put it in the school app, or other universities could put them in their school app too. So I think this is really cool, and that people and businesses should start doing it, because it's only going to make our lives easier, and all these things make our lives easier too. And sometimes we take them for granted, but they're really cool, and they're only becoming better and better as the time goes on. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and thank you for listening.